Our second selection sees 17th place Burnley playing host to 15th place Nottingham Forest. And as touched upon in the last selection, Burnley were very close to securing a massive point against Liverpool in their last game. Now the Clarets didn't offer very much going forwards, but their defence was stout. There was a single moment of misfortune, however, as Frimpong's cross struck the arm of Hannibal to give away a penalty. Mo Salah stepped up to the spot to dispatch and snatch all 3 points for the visitors. In terms of form, it's now back-to-back losses and 3 losses in 4 to start the year for Burnley. It's not great form, but with respect to Burnley, it has been a very difficult start to the year, and they did manage to pick up 3 points against a fellow relegation candidate in Sunderland. They host a Nottingham Forest side who had Ange Postecoglou take charge of his first game against Arsenal. Forest found themselves 1-0 down thanks to a rip-snorter of a shot from Martin Zubimendi, as his volley from the edge of the box after a corner kick curved around the flailing goalkeeper to hand the Gunners a 1-0 advantage at half-time. Gyökeres would double the lead 2 minutes into the second period as he tapped home Eze's cross, and then the game was sealed with Zubimendi, who picked up his second and Arsenal's third of the game in the 3-0 win. In terms of form, it's now back-to-back 3-0 losses for Forest and no win in 3. But for me, it's not the form that's the main story here, rather the appointment of Ange Postecoglou after Nuno Espírito Santo did nothing wrong in my opinion. Okay, losing 3-0 to West Ham isn't ideal by any means, but if you're going to save a side from relegation one season to then get them into Europe the next season, you should be allowed the occasional bad result. I think it's a bit of an odd appointment, as Postecoglou's attacking style with a high defensive line is almost the polar opposite to Nuno Espírito Santo's more counter-attacking oriented system. It'll be interesting to see how the Australian gets on, and Forest have a fantastic opportunity against Burnley to work out the kinks of their new system. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, the last game between these sides came in May of 2024, when an already relegated Burnley side lost 2-1 against Forest. Chris Wood's double settled the scores in that particular match, and this victory would mean that Forest managed to take 4 points from Burnley across their 2 games, as they did manage to draw 1-1 at the City Ground earlier that year. My prediction for today's game is that starting the prep for this one actually had Nuno Espírito Santo in charge, and I was leaning towards Nottingham Forest, but there are a few factors here that gives me a bit of pause for thought. Firstly, they play Real Betis in Spain in the midweek following this match, so there may be some squad rotation as they have one eye on their Europa League campaign. Also, the managerial shake-up doesn't help in terms of consistency, so I almost walked away from this one. However, Forest were the third best side on the road last year, with only Liverpool and Arsenal doing better than them, and the resilience you need to pick up away points I feel transfers well to the new turbulence created by the managerial change. Man for man, Forest are also the better side, and I think they're going to fancy their chances of returning to winning ways against one of those weaker sides in the Premier League. As such, I will be backing Nottingham Forest to pick up 3 points, but only for a half stake here in bet number 2.